to discuss a little bit of a controversial topic. Not controversial for me, makes sense, but perhaps for other people. There is a pastor that I heard once say that if your church hasn't grown in over 20 plus years and you only have the same amount of members because some have left, some have come, but it basically is the same amount, then perhaps being a pastor is not your calling. And when he said that, I was like, oh, there's many, things that we other people don't really confirm for us, and but we know it because God is speaking to us, and it might not manifest for a couple years. But recently, I've really been thinking, and I'm like, you know what? He's right because there's power in numbers, and you have all of these small pockets and all these small little churches where the pastors aren't as effective as they think they are. Number one, because they themselves they have to get together because whether they have a poverty mindset and they don't want to acknowledge it, or they are dealing with just things in their lives, they don't seem to understand that it's actually manifesting to the congregation, hence why the congregation is not growing. But regardless, we have all these small pockets of churches in these communities. And it's like if you guys would take away your ego and just come under someone who knows what they are doing as far as growing a church, then you can take your specialty and then do it under another umbrella. I was thinking about God gave to me doctors. If I went to a doctor and he had been practicing for over 25 years, and somehow I got to find out his full breadth of how many people he has helped. And it turns out in 25 years, he has only helped, as far as you can see the manifestation of this person actually being helped, going far. 20 people. That's insane. A doctor is not even, and I'm just not assuming a doctor is a believer or a Christian. I'm just saying a doctor based on his expertise. So I'm a pastor and I'm claiming that God has my back and I'm aligned with God and I'm walking with God and God told me to do this. And you come to my church and it's the same amount of people, the same people too at that, all the time, with the same problems, the same issues. Everything's the same. What's the key word here? Same. Then perhaps you need to look and reflect and humble yourself and say, God, maybe I need to step down or get under someone else. I think the fact that pastors aren't willing to do that, you are hindering communities from growing because we are God's eyes and ears and hands and feet. And if we aren't going to listen to God when he's speaking to us, then what's the point? I know this could be controversial for some people and a lot of people won't agree. It doesn't matter. It's just, this is my opinion, but I'm here because I would like a discourse and a conversation about it because I think it's the truth. Like, what are we doing in our communities with all these small little churches? We power in numbers. Come together. And yes, God destroyed a nation with 300. When God is in it, you don't need anybody but one. So I'm saying because man is flawed, we need to look at the pastors and perhaps they need to be ministers or teachers, not necessarily pastors. But that would require the pastor to look at himself and truly humble himself and go before God. Let me know your thoughts about that because I'm really starting to study that and I really am curious about that.